Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and this is like a tier list structure that I'm doing here for NXT. We're going to decide and show off where we think people will be by the end of the year. Like what year do I think they're going to have ahead of them? And we're going to throw them out there. S obviously being that they will have been champion at some point this year or already champions, so there's going to be a little bit of hedge bets in there. And then D obviously might be out of the company or just in limbo and stuff. So we're gonna go the best way we can. Obviously, I believe some of these people are gone. To be honest with this tier list, I could be wrong. So we'll see. I don't wish any ill will on the people that I put at that are going away. I just D is probably just in that area that I don't know if they'll be around. First up, we have Rizzo. Rizzo's an interesting one because I feel like being a part of the family will always have her a spot, but she actually seems really good in the ring. I've seen a couple of her matches, seen a couple on Level Up. I personally like what she's doing out there. I just wish she's getting more screen time, and I don't know if she's destined for much this year, but I'm kind of excited to see what she's gonna do. So I'll put her in C. I feel like she's got to step out of the shadows of the family and get some screen time on her own and some more matches on the main TV show. And I think if you do, I think there's a good possibility. Andre Chase, I honestly believe like they're gonna have some type of long-term storytelling of him coming back with Chase U and all that. So I'll put him in B. I think he's gonna have some good TV spots. He's had some good matches over the last year, so I have a feeling, you know, it's one of those people that it's gonna have a lot of time. Ariana Grace, I mean, she was working the TNA action like of having both, but she kind of has disappeared, and the TNA stuff has kind of disappeared. So I don't have high hopes for her. I don't know if I would put it completely towards the bottom because like she did put in some work, and that probably is going to be, helped her get elevated. But I don't think it's going to be much higher than C at the moment. Adonis, I feel like he's in the worst storyline in the world right now. That storyline with him, Carmen Petrovich, and Nikita Lyons is just awful. And I feel like it's going to be his nail in the coffin here, unfortunately. I like him a lot, but like I like him as a person, but like he just doesn't get that time to actually go out there and wrestle. And when he does, it's all about this other BS, and it's just like this heightened soap opera drama, and it's not like entertaining like some of the other stuff that they've done in the past. So it makes it a lot worse. So I'm gonna put him in D. I would be surprised if he makes it the entire year there, unless they really get him into a storyline that makes a lot more sense. But right now, there's nothing there. Ava, I'm just gonna put her at the bottom. I mean, she's gonna be the GM for the entire year. I guarantee it. Next up is Axiom. I feel like Axiom as tag team champ is really a good spot to put him. I do feel like he should have that a position to try to get some gold outside like some singles gold, but that would require them to lose the tag team titles. And I think I'm fine with that. I think like this would be a good year for him. I'm gonna put him in A. I will not necessarily put him in the champ by the end of the year because I feel like he's currently a champ, but I feel like we kind of want to see what like other stuff he does. Like I think he's gonna lose that tag team titles at some point, and yeah, we'll put some of the commentary and reporters or whatever backstage. Brindley Reese, she's had some good spots. She's had some decent matches. I probably would have put her in C right now. I don't think she's gonna have too crazy of a day. One half of OTM. I'm gonna say both of them. If they win the tag team titles, I think we'll really jettison them up. But I'm gonna put my bet and put them in B because if they don't win within like the next month or two, I feel like they're just gonna go back to being the obscurity thing because Jada Parker is way more popular than them in this position that they've been doing. So like I feel like she's gonna get the brunt of all the like new stuff, and I don't really see it. Like see them doing much if they don't win those titles. Then we got Brooks Jensen. He's in that weird cult thing. I honestly don't know what they're doing with that. I'll put it in C. I'm wanting to see what it pays off, but I have a feeling it's not going to pay off the way that we think it's going to be. I've seen her before, but I don't know her by name. I'm gonna have to put her in D because I don't know. And the women's division is just so stacked. So if you're not like right off the bat recognizable, you're probably going to be stuck on leveled up for a while, which is still good. You know, you got to do that. Being on any type of thing is where you need to put your work in. But I haven't seen her, so I can't really say much. Cedric Alexander, I don't know, man. I feel like they've tried everything with him and it's just not working. I'm gonna have to put him in D. I feel like he's probably gonna get the boot at some point. Stacks, I mean, he's part of a faction and he's part of a tag team and he's had some tag team action. I don't think he's gonna get much more than that. Um, Necessarily when I think about his wrestling, I don't think I've really thought about anything crazy he's done or anything like that. So, with that being said, I think I'll put him in C. I think he has some relative screen time, but I do feel like out of most of the family, he's definitely not the best wrestler. Next up, we have Charlie Dempsey. He's kind of on that pivotal spot because he just lost the Heritage Cup, so they could put him in like the North American title run or maybe like a uh, NXT title run. I would love to see him against Omofemi. Like, I think that would be a pretty good match. I'll put him in B. I feel like there's still some possibility. Obviously, he's a lineage with William Regal being his dad, so there's a possibility he'll get some extra looks that way. And I think I'd be cool with that. He seems pretty solid altogether. Cora Jade's also in this weird spot because like she's very attached to Roxanne Perez, and once Roxanne Perez gets called up, if Cora doesn't also get the call up, she might struggle a little bit. She is only one of the bigger heels on the roster down in NXT, but she does seem to take a lot of pins and doesn't seem to be really in any of the hunts for anything. I could see her having a mini feud with Julia that could kickstart her at some point, but other than that, I think I don't think she's gonna be champion, but I think she'll have a pretty solid year. But we'll see. Next up is another person that kind of doesn't get a lot of screen time. I can't even think of her name. I'll put her down here in D. The just women's division's too big. Dante Chen, I do. What did he get released or I don't know. They've just complete. No, he was in. No, I haven't seen him in forever. I'm gonna have to put him down in D. I don't think he got released, but they haven't really been using him. Duke Hudson, I think his thing's kind of tied to Andre Chase. I think they're gonna get some decent screen time and storylines during the year. I'll put him in B. Eddie Thorpe, they've been trying to put him down our throats by like having him out there and doing all that type of stuff. I think he definitely ruined that triple threat. I think it would have been better if they would have just dropped him out of that. His storyline and his part of it wasn't really anything that needed to be there. So unfortunately, I probably put him around C. I feel like that was his big push, and if it didn't stick, then I don't think we'll see it anymore. Um, I forget his name too. He's part of him. Those two are tag team. We haven't really seen them, so I'm gonna put both of them in D right now. Um, Ethan Page, I do believe that he has a possibility of being a champion again. I feel like I'll put him in A. I think he might not quite be up there, but I think he's getting close. Fallon Henley, I think, is one of those intermediate champions right now. Like she's just sitting there with the title, but I have a feeling there's a good possibility that she will be losing this very, very soon, especially to Stephanie. I feel like if it's to Stephanie, it's like as soon as possible type of thing. I think she'll still be part of like, kind of these tag team faction wars that they're doing. So I think she'll still get some pretty good screen time. I don't think she really needs the title in that opportunity, but I'll put her in A. I don't think she'll be a champion by the end of the year. Gigi Dolan, her and Shotzi and Tatum Paxley are a really cool faction, and I hope they hold on to that. I'm going to put her at B because they do tend to just let her disappear sometimes. Julia, obviously S. I mean, she's a champion now. I think she'll be a champion a big chunk of this time, so I think she's one that fits in there. Hank and Tank, I'm going to put them together because I'm pretty sure this is Hank and the other one's Tank, just based off of the names. I'm going to put them also in B because I do believe they're going to have the tag team champions at some point. I feel like the natural progression of things is like maybe OTM next after Axiom and Nathan Frazier and then Hank and Tank at some point. I think they are testing them out at Reality of Wrestling. I feel like because they're the tag team champions over there, they're trying to see how that goes. Um, Izzy Dane, she has been like on TV more, so I'll put her in C. I think they have been trying to build her up. It's just kind of hard in this division to do that. Um, was it JC? Is it Jace? God, I don't even. I'm just completely blanking. I know her name, but like it just for whatever reason, it's not wanting the word. I feel like her being in the faction, she'll have some better time, but I really feel like she's going to be the one that gets cut out of this because I don't know. The other two seem to have a little bit more swagger. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I feel like I'll put him B. I think she'll be around, but I don't know. Next up is Jada Parker. I'm going to put her in S tier. I do believe she's going to be champion at the end of the year. I think it's going to be the North American title, but I do believe at some point it's going to go to her hands, or at least she's going to have so many opportunities that she's going to be one of those main event players. I think she has the attitude. I think she has the skill. I think she has the look. Everything about her, I think, is really going to put her up in there. They need to pull the trigger on her at some point, and I think this would be the year to do it. Jakara Jackson, her and Lash Legend are a great tag team. If they had women's tag team champions down in NXT at some point, they would definitely be the forerunners to be able to hold on to those and do good. The problem with one tag division or just one tag champion across the board, it's a little bit hard for them to get these opportunities, but both of them did really good, and I think they'll be in a lot of storylines. So I'll put both of them up there in A tier. I think that's probably best to put them. I'm pretty sure this guy's been canned. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure. And then we got Jasmine. I think Jasmine's done pretty good for being kind of like more on the greener side, I think, compared to the three. I think she'll be in some decent storylines and maybe even get a championship opportunity or something. Javon Evans, I do believe, will be a champion by the end of the year. I think it will be the North American title at some point. I do believe he's probably the front runner to beat Tony D'Angelo at some point. I feel like it's going to be after the Ethan Page stuff. Then we got Coffee. Is it Joe Coffee? Yeah, Joe or Mark. I don't know. With Gallus, I feel like they're kind of been pulled out anytime they want to do like tag team stuff, but I don't think it really. I think they're kind of on the lower end of the tag teams. Wait, that's Mark. That's Joe. That's Mark. And then who's the other one? Wolfgang. Yeah, I'll put them in all C. Um, it was Brooks and Jensen. So this is Brooks. I don't think they've done much with him. He had that random tag team with the newer guy, but I don't know what they're doing with that. I don't feel like he has a lot of momentum. I'm gonna put him in D. I think that's kind of a safe one. Now, Carmen's an interesting one. At this time last year, or maybe not this time last year, but like let's back up 6 months from now, I would have said she would have been in that S tier, should be champion by the end, being that North American title. But they have her in such a bad feud right now that I'm kind of concerned. Now, I think she will get some screen time, and I think she's been doing better. But I feel like I don't know if it's just the feud has been so bad that it's put a sour taste in my mouth, but I feel like her wrestling is getting worse because of it. I'll put her in B. I could take her, leave her being involved if that's going to be the reason why we get it. So hopefully it's not. Like, hopefully she uh, rebounds after this storyline and we get more of her. Um, Kalani, I feel like Kalani's going to be a title chaser all year. I think she'll be chasing both titles at some opportunity, but I don't think she gets the trigger pulled. And I think I put her in A. I think she'll have a solid year, a lot of PLE matches, a lot of big time stuff, but nothing like what some of the other women will get. But it'll still be good because she already was the first North American title holder, and I think a solid year of just title chasing wouldn't be bad for her. I don't know who this is. I'm gonna have to put her in D. Lexus King, current Heritage Cup winner. I just don't see his character ever getting out of what it is now. I'm gonna put it in C. I feel like he loses that Heritage Cup at some point, and then he kind of just falls into the background. Lola Vice is kind of one of those that are 50-50 because like she's really solid in certain areas of her game, and then other aspects people can't stand her in. So it's like, where do they put her? I feel like she definitely should not be towards the top, even though she is canon. Like, she is the next person who challenges Julia. Like, she won a first contenders title on a house show, so she will be the first person to face Julia. And I don't see much happening after that for her. I'll put her in B. I think she's still going to be around the big thing. I feel like they really should just give her a North American title shot and let her go around that area, especially if Stephanie gets in there. I think they could put on some good, have a good rivalry. But at the moment, if they don't do that and they just try to keep her around the main event scene, I think she's going to struggle. This is Luca, right? Luca Suppin. I'll put him with Stacks over here and see. Then we got Miles Bourne. I feel like No Quarter Catch Republic, No Quarter Catch Crew got two different tag teams mixed together. Could possibly go somewhere, but I'm gonna put him in C. I feel like it's probably best. Nathan Frazier, I could see definitely winning the North American title this year. I'm gonna give him the slight advantage. I have a feeling. See, in a perfect world, Javon Evans takes it off of Tony D'Angelo, and then Tony D'Angelo, or then Javon Evans, Axiom, and Nathan Frazier have a fatal, like a triple threat, and that just blows out the roof. 5-star match, amazing. Print the money now because that's going to be what it is. But I guess we'll see. But I have a feeling there's a possibility he'll get a singles goal. I think he's towards main roster ready, and I feel like there might be one little run left, but he could possibly be drafted too. So I guess we'll see. The Kata Lions. I think she's struggled since coming back, and they put her in this really terrible storyline. I'm gonna put her in C. I think she'll be around, but I don't think she's gonna be anything major. Dar, I think, is still hurt, and I think he's like hurt for a while, so I'm gonna put him in D. I don't think we'll see much of him. Omofebi, obviously S. He's a champion now, and I think he's gonna get some more. Or Mensa, I feel like he had his shot in his limelight last year. I don't think it quite worked out or connected with people, so I'll put it in C. I think he might get another shot, but it won't be anything. Ridge Holland, I think he's always going to be there, but I don't think he's going to be that big of a player this year. I'll put him in D, to be honest. Um, Alex Riley, I don't know. I feel like he's kind of in that weird spot because it kind of made him all about Chase U, and it was just like, now that Chase U's gone, where do you put this guy? I'll put him in C for the time being. Mr. Stone, other than being backstage people, I really don't see him and Stevie Nicks doing much other than just being backstage people. Roxanne, I believe, is going to be called up, so I guess we'll put that as S tier. I don't know. Didn't really think about it. Sean Spears with his weird like cult thing, I think is going to be a bigger storyline. I'll put him in B. Sol Ruka obviously has a great opportunity to be a champion by the end of the year. I'll put her in A. I think she's on that cusp that I could see her going blank the entire year. But if that North American title is kind of flipped around a little bit, I think she might get that shot. Stephanie Vercor, I think, is going to be S tier. I think she wins the North American Championship. She might even be Julia's stopper at some point, and that could also happen this year. So I think S tier works. Next up is Tin Paxley. I feel like if there was another tag team champion, like I said, like with Shakara Jackson and Lash Legend, if there was one, I think her and Gigi Dolan could have a chance for it, but I don't think they're thinking about doing that anytime soon. So if that being the case, I think she'll be in some decent stories, but I don't think we'll see much of her. I do believe she might at some point if she's ready to go up to the top roster. I think it would work really good to put her in that faction with Gigi Dolan and Shotzi. I think that would work on the main roster pretty well too. But we'll see. I'll put her up in A. I think we'll see a lot of her though. Tavion Heights, I feel like him and Miles Bourne are kind of in the same thing. Like they might get some looks, but I don't think too many. Fia Hale, I think, is kind of primed for a bigger year. I'm gonna put her in B. I think she will have some storyline. She's a solid person to put in there for title opportunities and feuds, but we'll see how that goes. Tony D'Angelo, I think he'll have this title for not super long, and then probably challenge Obafemi for the top title at some point. I'm not a big Tony D'Angelo fan. I'm gonna put him in B. I think he's gonna get storylines, but I don't see much better. Trick, I think, is gonna be called up. I'm gonna put him up in S tier. Then we got I don't know what their tag team is called, but Tyson DuPont and I forget what the other guy's name is. They're currently Wesley. I think they're gonna get a lot more screen time this next year, and maybe be a bigger faction if they keep all three together. Commentator Wendy Chu. I think we don't see her for a while unless she comes back with the TNA stuff if they do it. Put Regal back there. Wesley, I think we'll put up an S. I think he's going to have a lot of challenges around. I think he might challenge Obi pretty fast too. There could be a possibility he tries to get his North American title back with whoever takes over from Tony D'Angelo. So I think he'll be up in there. Next up is Ren Sinclair. Now, I personally really like Ren Sinclair, so it's hard for me to completely put her probably in an unbiased position. I do think they put a lot on her by putting her in the Iron Survivor and having matches with everybody who's been big and new. I think that's a good way and a good sign that they obviously trust her. I'm gonna put her in B because I think she's gonna get some storyline and she's gonna be in that vein. I personally would like to see her in A and even S tier if possible, but I don't think that's possible. I think B is being generous and not being too my own opinion of just liking her so much. Zarya, I think I'll put in A. I don't know if she necessarily would capture gold, but I think she's going to be very close to it. And again, her and Sol Ruka would be a good tag team to have if they have a tag division with a tag champion. Just saying, if they decide to do that, we could really open up the books here. And that's my rundown of NXT. It's a little bit longer of a video, but I wanted to do this, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, it's been Japan. Bye, guys.